This is the new BMW X5, and in this video I'm going to drive it, I'm going to check out its practicality, look around its interior, try its new infotainment system, take it off-road. I'm also going to test drive the 50D, the 30D and the 40i. I'm also going to have a look at its ancestors. Now you have to bear with me in this video, guys, because I'm holding the camera myself, so yes, it could be a little bit interesting. Now let's start this review by talking about the design. And the most distinctive feature on this car is that absolutely huge grille. I mean, look at it. It's like Bugs Bunny's teeth. It's massive. Now the grille will open up when the engine needs cooling. When it doesn't need cooling, it shuts to improve aerodynamics. In fact, you've got these air vents here, which are actually there to do a job. They send air in there and out here, so it smooths over the front wheel. There are some vents here down the side, but these lead to nowhere. They are fake. Shame on you, BMW. Now the front of this car looks very aggressive. This is the M50D, so it's got full M Sport trim on it. This one's got laser lights with some cool blue inserts there. There we go, laser lights. It's running on 21-inch alloy wheels. You got the upgraded M brakes there as well, with blue paint on them. Down the side, some skirts to make it look like it's hugging the road. I like the rear lights as well. New design. Not so sure about the back end. It's a bit slab-like, isn't it? Rather large. Now let's have a look at the interior. It's going to pop the boot. All electric, of course, and you have a split tailgate. The bottom part is electrical as well. The boot is a nice, big, square shape. Some extra storage under there as well. No spare wheel. This car is obviously on run flats, and if I pull these levers here, I can lower the back seats. There we go. All very easy to do, and then I can just pop up the tailgate and then shut the top half. That's a quick look round the exterior of the new BMW X5. Now, why don't you tell me which car you prefer the look of? This BMW X5, the Range Rover Sport, the Porsche Cayenne, or the new Audi Q8? Click on the pop-out button in the top right-hand corner of the screen to cast your vote. Now, I thought it'd be interesting to compare the look of the new G5 version of the X5 to its predecessor, so I have them here. Let's go check them out. This is where it all began back in 1999 with the original X5, which was codenamed the E53. Now the car was built until 2006 when it was replaced by this car, the E70, the second generation version. That car was replaced with this, the F15, which appeared in 2013. Now, which is your favourite old BMW X5? Let me know in the comments box below.
The biggest difference between the previous X5 and this new one isn't the exterior, it's the interior, which now has more luxury and technology than ever. Though, of course, this has bumped up the price a bit.
The new BMW X5 starts from £57,000, and this M50D actually costs over 70 grand, so make sure you click on the pop-out banner in the top right-hand corner of the screen to get a carwow to see how much you can save on a new car. The big question is, though, does this new X5 feel worth that money? And I have to say, in a word, yes. Quality is absolutely brilliant. The soft touch materials even down here, and all the way down on the door bin. In fact, they're the softest door bins I have ever felt. Feels great, really sturdy as well. And the design's nice. It's quite simplistic. All your controls are easily laid out there. I like the fact that the ventilation controls are metallic. You've still got some shortcut touch sensitive buttons here underneath. It's all very nice. Not so keen on this trim though. The pattern's a little bit confusing. It's almost like one of those magic eye posters where if you stare at it long enough, you'll probably see a dolphin, which isn't ideal when you're driving. Not a big fan of this crystal gear knob either. It's all a bit naff if you ask me. Can't fault the seats though. Seats are lovely, and I like the two-tone leather in this car. It looks really, really good. Taking pride of place though is the new infotainment system. So it's BMW's iDrive 7. And it's better than ever. It's absolutely fabulous. I mean, it's dead easy to control. You can swipe through the different menus down the side here using the swivel wheel. And then if you want to, you can use it as a touchscreen and slide through the slates like that. You can also operate it with gesture commands like that. So that's the volume. Come on, come on. There we go, finally. As you can see, it's a little bit temperamental. There we go, turned it down there. You end up just using the knob. It's just easier. Can't fault the graphics on the screen though. I mean, look at that map. It is lovely. Look at that. It's just high definition and then some, because it looks like that image has been spray painted on. Doesn't look like graphics. It's that sharp. Also, the system includes a full digital driver's display. Now, I don't think it's quite as good as the one that you can get in an Audi Q8 because you can't have full widescreen sat-nav up there. You just have it in between the two dials. Also, the rev counter runs backwards like in a Peugeot. Don't know why BMW doing that. It's a little bit odd, but it's generally okay, and it shows lots of different information, and you can cycle through things such as your stereo and see things such as engine boost and how much torque it's producing and G-force, and yeah, who needs all of that. I do like this though. Look, I'm just going to start the car. There, the dials come on, shows a picture of the car. I like the reversing camera. It's so good. So I can go into 3D mode, and then you get like a computer digital image of the car. It's a bit like a video game. Then I can use the gesture controls like that. Once again, a bit hit and miss, and it's quite hard to control with the gesture commands, but you can look around the car. It's pretty neat. The only thing that's lacking really is the fact that this still doesn't do Android Auto. You can only get Apple CarPlay with it. Thanks for that, BMW. Half of all mobile phone users then won't be able to connect their phones fully.
Hopefully the way the new X5 drives is enough to make up for this mild annoyance.
So the X50D has its own unique suspension setup. It's got coil springs with adaptive dampers, and they are set up a little bit firmer than the other cars. So I've got it in comfort mode at the moment, and it does feel very, very comfortable. It's good at ironing out bumps, it doesn't jolt around too much. Just went over a pothole there, could hardly feel it. Press this button, put it into sport, and then it adds weight to the steering, improves the throttle response, it stiffens up the suspension, and it adds a bit of a fruitier sound to the exhaust. Do you know what? Even though it's in sport, the ride doesn't seem really much worse. It's very, very good. This one actually has the active anti-roll bar, so it'll prop up the side, which would normally lean down, to stop the car rolling so much in the corners, and it does. It feels really sporty and agile, yet at the same time really strong, sturdy, and a bit of a beast to actually drive. It's great. I think they've got it spot on. They have blended comfort with performance brilliantly with this car. The steering is a highlight. If you compare it to something like an Audi Q8, which has steering that's a little bit kind of dead, this does feel like it's connected to the front wheels and to the road, so you can tell what's going on. One thing I will complain about though is that to change modes you have to reach between the two front seats and feel your way to the buttons, and so you end up looking down when you want to go in sport, when really you want to be looking at the road, not down here. I just don't know why the controls aren't on the steering wheel like they are on the M cars. It just makes so much more sense. Now, one thing I need to show you is the performance from this 50D engine. So it's a 3-litre straight 6 diesel, but it's got 4 turbochargers, and as a result it has 400 horsepower. So I'm going to launch it now. Ready? Here we go. Build up some boost. Let it go. Oh, that's pretty quick for a diesel. And that's 60 like that. It's very quick. 0 to 60 is 5.2 seconds, but that isn't the whole story. What is if I put it into manual mode and I hold it into a gear, and I'm at 50 now and I just floor it, the way this thing picks up, it's just relentless. It's because it's got 760 Newton meters of torque. Makes a good noise as well. Kind of sounds a bit like a V8, not a straight 6, but then that noise you're hearing is fake. It's plumbed in through the speakers. The gearbox is really good as well. So it's the usual 8-speed ZF, but they've changed it to make it even better. And that's a bit like improving on perfection. I don't know how they've done it, but they've done it. Well done, BMW. And of course you can change gears yourself using the paddles, and it's really sharp when you do that. As with all modern cars, there's an array of driver assistance systems, and you get the latest ones from BMW here. So I'm going to put the car into cruise control with steering assist, lane keeping assist, and distance control to keep me a safe distance from the car in front. It'll steer to keep me in lane. I like the way it has these little lights that flash up on the steering wheel if you let go of it. So those are the warning signs there, as well as the warning up there on the dash telling me to put my hands back on the wheel. But I'm not going to do that, and this is what happens if I don't. We get flashing red lights there, and then it's going to auto brake the car. There we go, it's auto braking it now, and it's actually jolting it as it's doing it to just wake me up. Now I'm going to let it stop me because there's nothing behind me, and now take over. There we go. So that's safe. It keeps you in lane and it doesn't disengage. It actually brings you to a steady and safe stop, and not too sudden that the car behind might crash into you.
This would be particularly bad if you have passengers in the back seats. Speaking of which, what is the new X5 like in the rear?
So you can probably see for yourself that there is absolutely loads of room. Now the guy who's driving is over 6 foot tall. Yeah, look, loads of space for my legs, so tall adults will be fine back here. And look how much headroom there is. There's loads. Look at that, absolutely loads. And it feels really spacious. You've got big back windows and a nice ledge you can lean off. These seats, they are super comfy. In fact, there's lots of creature comforts back here. So you've got digital dual zone climate for rear passengers. You've also got USB-C inputs. That's nice and modern for the latest smartphones. We've got really tough, look at that, really strong pockets in the back of the seats. That's a heavy old laptop, that is, and it can hold it in place, no problem at all. Then there's these little slidey bits here, which you can fit some attachments to. Look at that. It's a hook to hang things off. And then there's another one here for your coat hanger. And I'm sure you can fit some other stuff there as well, like iPads. My only disappointment is I can't actually recline this seat, but it's not too much of a problem because the seats are quite reclined anyway. So yeah, if you wanted to have a sleep, you could quite easily back here because it's super quiet and really, really very comfortable.
In the UK, most people won't buy the 50D, but the 30D. So I jumped into one to try it out. It uses a similar 3-litre diesel, but with just one turbo, and therefore has 264 horsepower. And this, guys, is the effect on acceleration compared to the 50D. Really though, the 30D is easily quick enough. Also, it gets air suspension, so it's even more comfortable over bumps than the sportier 50D. Plus, you can raise the ride height by 40mm if you want to go off-road.
Speaking of which, I think I'll just go off-road here. So I'm gonna press the button to raise up the suspension. Let's raise it up. And now, I can have a little go at driving over here. Not really sure I should, and I'm in America where they sometimes shoot you if you trespass on their land. Oh well. Also, you can get this car with a special off-road pack, and this car has it, so it has some special settings for the four-wheel drive system and for the rear differential, so it improves the grip when you're off-roading. Plus it includes some underbody cladding so you don't damage the engine when you're off-roading, and some other bits and pieces as well. Actually, I'm getting a little bit worried about driving over here, so I think I might just turn around and get out of here. It's not too bad if you want to go off-roading, and really, most people who buy an X5 probably won't be doing any more extreme off-roading than this. I hope that's not a man with a gun. Let's get out of here. I'm going to put the suspension into a low setting again because I might need the handling prowess to get away from him and his pickup. Come on! Yee-haw!
I thought it wise to switch cars one more time, just in case I'd been spotted and followed.
So finally, I'm in the 40i. So it's got a 3-litre straight-six turbocharged petrol engine with 340 horsepower. It can do 0 to 60 in just 5.5 seconds, and it's a nice engine there, so it's responsive. It doesn't have the punch of the 50D, but it's nice just revving it. Makes the car feel a bit lighter and more agile as well. Probably a little less weight in the nose. I've always liked BMW 6-cylinder petrol engines, you know, they're silky smooth, and this is no exception. So then what's my final verdict on the new BMW X5? Well, I must say, I'm really impressed with it. You know, it drives very well, it's comfortable, it's quiet, it's luxurious, it's practical, it's packed full of technology. I mean, what's not to like? Yeah, it's an excellent luxury SUV.
If you enjoyed this video, please like it, comment on it and share it. Also, click on our logo to subscribe to this channel. And if you click on the bottom right hand corner, you can actually watch more of our content. Meanwhile, click over to the right to go to our deals page to see how much money you can save on a new car at CarWow.